So you're probably wondering why there are two steel beds in the snow. Welcome to day 2 of my Svalbard adventure. We have rented snowmobiles, and after a rough start with some motor malfunctions, we're finally on our way to Spitsbergen, a huge glacier which I'm longing to photograph. Along the way we've seen some wild reindeer and some beautiful mountains, and the clouds around them are extraordinary. So it pains my heart to drive past them, but we have to because it's pretty far to the glacier. We're gonna stop with the frozen waterfall a couple of miles that way, and we're gonna photograph that. And we packed lunch, we packed some coffee, and all in all this is gonna be a beautiful day. So look at this view. And look at this nature. I'm a lucky boy. Up there's my protection, because I got just notified that I'm in polar bear land and I can't be wandering off alone. But I found this beautiful composition, and it's these beautiful gale winds blowing the snow over the mountains, carrying a lot of fresh snow, kind of just blows it over. And if you combine that with the leading lines of this beautiful wind-shaped lagoon here, it makes for a fantastic photograph. So I couldn't miss this opportunity. f9.0, focus to infinity, and just let nature do its work.
After the image was captured, we continued our journey towards the frozen waterfall and eventually the Fontpost Glacier. When we entered Sassendalen, where the two polar bears had been spotted the day before, our guide told us to be extra vigilant. My mind went 6 places at once, and I kept my long lens ready, hoping for a glimpse as we drove towards the frozen waters.
So we're about halfway to the glacier, and our guide knew of this frozen waterfall, so he wanted to take us down there and show us. So we're going to set up for a quick picture here while we're at it. I'm guessing I'm in the middle of a river right now, and when spring arrives, the waterfall, I think, covers the entire valley here. So that's pretty neat. I'm thinking about doing a panorama. Quite simple. I'm gonna set my camera up there, and then I am gonna capture this first waterfall and all the way over there. So that is gonna be my image. I'm gonna do 6 images, I think. I'm gonna do portrait orientation, 6 images. Dun, 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 dun. And that's that. That should cover it, I think. Alright. I'm gonna set up, and you're just gonna see the image, and then we're on our way to the glacier again. After 3 hours, we've arrived at our destination. And we've heard rumors that there are 2 polar bears in the vicinity, so we're keeping our eyes open all the time. I don't think I have the words to describe what I felt driving on a snowmobile through that wilderness. It's unlike anything I've experienced in my life. There are pictures to be found everywhere, and as my guide said to me numbers of times, we can't stop every 5 minutes for you to take photographs. We'll never make it to the glacier in time, and it's fantastic. I love it. I love every second of it, and it's unlike anything I've experienced in my life. I saw a piece of a glacier from afar that really piqued my interest, and right behind the glacier are those rugged mountains, those Spitsbergen. There's the piece of the rock against those characteristic Svalbard mountains. Really beautiful. So I've set up here really low, pointing in portrait mode, pointing directly towards the piece of that glacier against those mountains. I'm shooting at f9, 1,000th of a second. Watch the shadows, and there we go. I can only see this scene where I'm right now and thinking, there were polar bears here yesterday. And that just blows my mind. Everywhere you look there's a composition. Everywhere you look there's a beautiful mountain just waiting to be photographed. And I think I need to have maybe 7 or 8 times on this trip we've taken today to cover the whole trip. And I'm really hoping it comes across just how beautiful this place is and how magical.
Magical is a good word to begin with when describing Svalbard. And while driving that final bit towards the Fontpost Glacier, I thought how magical it would be to see a polar bear in its own habitat. That thought didn't get discouraged when Arnstein told us to stop so he could get his binoculars out because he might have seen something off in the distance. I started seeing signs everywhere. Like in these tracks I found while setting up for an image. Blood rushed to my head as I scouted the nearby area. These wasn't the tracks of a reindeer or fox, the only land animals besides the polar bear. Arnstein is certain that these are double tracks of a reindeer, but I'm still not convinced, or maybe I don't want to be convinced. What do you think, polar bear or reindeer? Little by little we approached the majestic Fontpost Glacier.
Are there any polar bears around?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't see anyone, but there were 3 polar bears here yesterday.
The Fontpost Glacier. It's a sight to behold. I have found a composition on this glacier and it looks really promising. Let me talk you through it. I am going to do 2 compositions. The first composition will be in portrait mode. I'm using my 100 to 300 millimeter and I've narrowed it in on the tip of the glacier because I love it when the glacier ends, so to speak, and behind it is this pristine untouched snowy mountains which goes inwards, so it looks really well. I'm shooting at f9, 1,000 of a second, shutter delay for 2 seconds, and here we go. So that was my first composition, but my second composition is pretty much, it's the same principle, but it's a completely different picture. So right now I'm still using the 100 to 300 millimeter lens and I've zoomed even more in directly towards the glacier, but this time I'm not shooting the end of the glacier, I'm shooting the end of the first mountain. And behind that mountain again there are two more mountains, which creates this lovely V shape and lines in the mountain. And I'm putting the glacier in the foreground as the direct focal point, still as the main subject, I mean, and still using portrait orientation and f9 1600 of a second, 2-second shutter delay on, and there you go. And with this gorgeous backdrop, I'm saying thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Until then, take care of each other, and yeah, leave a comment on which image you prefer. I'll see you in about a week. Thank you, and thank you, Svalbard.
Sadly, we never saw the bears that day, but they were spotted the next day by the local authorities. And the day after me and my father left Svalbard, Arnstein saw them at the very same place we were. So they definitely were in the vicinity. Well, maybe next time. If you want more adventures from Svalbard, be sure to tune in next Thursday for a brand new adventure at 6 p.m. Alright, take care everyone.